Welcome to Story Planet, where we bring you relaxing and peaceful tales to help you unwind. Tonight's story is The Village of Lavender. So, get comfortable, let go of the day, and allow yourself to drift into a charming village where the fragrance of lavender fills the air and time slows down in perfect harmony. Now, let's begin. The Village of Lavender. In the heart of the rolling countryside, surrounded by hills that stretched as far as the eye could see, lay a small village nestled among endless fields of lavender. The scent of lavender filled the air, so sweet and calming that every breath felt like a sigh of relief. Life here moved slowly, like the gentle breeze that swayed the violet blooms under the wide, open sky. For anyone entering the village, the change was almost immediate. The moment their feet touched the lavender-lined paths, something magical seemed to happen. The air, thick with the soft fragrance of lavender, wrapped around them like a warm embrace, and whatever tension they carried with them from the outside world began to melt away. Their breathing slowed, their movements became more gentle, and their words too softened. It was as if the very air coaxed them into a state of relaxation they hadn't realized they needed. Visitors often remarked on this strange and beautiful phenomenon. "There's something about this place," they would say, eyes half closed in bliss. "Something that makes you want to stay forever." And they weren't wrong. The village was a refuge from the hurried pace of the world, a place where time seemed to stretch and relax, just like the villagers themselves. It was as though the lavender itself whispered peace into the air, calming every soul that entered its embrace. The villagers, with their sun-kissed faces and hands stained from the earth, lived simple lives. They spent their days tending to the lavender fields, carefully harvesting the fragrant flowers by hand, one stem at a time. There was no rush, no hurry, just the rhythm of the land and the cycles of nature guiding their every move. They trusted that the earth would provide, as it always had. At the heart of this village was a woman named Iris. She had lived in the village all her life, and her connection to the land ran deep. Her parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents had all worked these fields, nurturing the lavender, passing down their wisdom through the generations. To Iris, the lavender was not just a plant. It was part of her family's legacy. Iris was in her early 50s, with soft, silvering hair that she tied back in a loose braid, strands of lavender tucked in as if they were part of her. Her skin, weathered by years under the sun, glowed with the warmth of someone who had spent their life close to the earth. There was a quiet strength in her hands, hands that had planted, harvested, and tended with love. She carried herself with a peaceful grace, always moving with purpose, yet never in a rush. Her mornings began before the sun, a ritual she held sacred. As the world still slept, Iris would walk barefoot into the lavender fields, feeling the cool earth between her toes. The early morning light would paint the sky in shades of pink and gold, casting a magical glow over the fields. She would take a deep breath filling her lungs with the fresh, calming scent of lavender. And for a few moments, she would simply stand there, in perfect stillness, connecting with the land. The lavender field stretched out before her, like a sea of purple, gently swaying in the breeze. Iris had spent her entire life tending to these fields, learning every secret, every season. She knew which parts of the land were the most fertile, where the lavender grew the strongest, and which blooms needed extra care. It wasn't just about the harvest. It was about understanding the rhythm of the land, listening to its quiet whispers, and working with nature rather than against it. Iris wasn't just a farmer. She was a craftswoman. Over the years, she had mastered the art of creating lavender oils, soaps, and sachets, beloved not just in the village, but in the nearby towns as well. Her products were known for their purity and the love and care that went into making them. People said you could feel the peace of the lavender fields in every drop of oil, in every bar of soap. Her small cottage at the edge of the village was a reflection of who she was, simple, warm, and filled with love. The walls were lined with shelves of jars, each one carefully labeled with lavender oil, dried flowers, and herbs she had collected. The windows were always open, letting in the soft breeze that carried the scent of lavender throughout the house. Outside, a small garden bloomed with wildflowers, herbs, and, of course, lavender. Iris's connection to the land wasn't just about work. It was about healing. She believed deeply in the power of lavender to soothe the body and the soul. Over the years, she had become something of a healer in the village, offering her lavender-based remedies to anyone who needed them. Whether it was a lavender tea to calm the nerves, or a salve to ease aching muscles, Iris always had something to help. People would come to her cottage, seeking comfort, and she would greet them with a warm smile, offering them a cup of tea and a listening ear. The villagers loved her, not just for her lavender, but for her kindness, her wisdom, and her gentle spirit. She had a way of making everyone feel at ease, as though time slowed down when they were in her presence. There was no rush, no hurry, just a sense of calm that seemed to radiate from her, like the lavender she grew. Despite her peaceful life, Iris was not without dreams. Though she cherished the simplicity of her days, she often found herself wondering if there was more she could do. The idea first came to her one quiet afternoon, as she sat on her porch, sipping a cup of lavender tea and gazing out at the fields. The lavender, swaying gently in the breeze, seemed to whisper possibilities to her. What if she could do more with her lavender? What if she could share the peace and calm it brought to her with people beyond the village? The thought lingered in her mind, like the scent of the flowers, growing stronger with each passing day. One evening, as she sat under the stars, Iris made a decision. She would start her own business, a small venture at first, but something that would allow her to bring her lavender products to the world. She didn't want to become rich or famous. She just wanted to share the beauty and peace of her lavender fields with others. in the hopes that it might bring them the same calm it had always brought her. With the help of a few friends from the village, Iris began to plan. She learned the basics of business from an elder in the nearby town who had once run a successful apothecary. She spent long nights perfecting her craft, making sure each product was just right, and slowly, her little venture began to grow. At first, it was just the villagers who bought her products, but word spread, and soon people from the nearby towns began to visit. Eager to take home a piece of the lavender fields, Iris was careful not to let the business change her life too much. She still rose before the sun to tend to her fields, still found peace in the quiet moments, still cherished the simple beauty of her days. As her business grew, Iris made sure to give back. She helped local families by hiring workers from the village, teaching them the art of lavender farming and product making. She also contributed to the education and well-being of the children in the village, ensuring that everyone shared in the prosperity that the lavender brought. And through it all, the lavender bloomed. The fields stretched on, season after season, as though they too were a part of Iris's journey, always growing, always offering their quiet beauty to the world. In the evenings, after a long day of work, Iris would sit on her porch, watching the sun set over the lavender fields. The soft glow of twilight would bathe the village in hues of purple and gold, and the air would be thick with the scent of lavender. She would close her eyes, breathing in the peace of the land, and feel a deep sense of contentment. For Iris, life was simple, yet full. She had her lavender, her village, and her quiet dreams. And as she sat there, watching the stars blink into the sky, she knew that everything she needed was already here. In the gentle sway of the lavender fields, in the quiet moments of the day, and in the deep connection she felt with the land that had always been her home. As you listen to this story, maybe you can feel it too, that sense of calm, slowly finding its way to you, like the lavender fields that stretch endlessly. Peace is something that's always within reach. Sometimes all it takes is a moment of stillness, a deep breath, and a reminder that you don't need to rush through life. The beauty of the present moment, of simply being, is always waiting for you, just as it did for Iris. Thank you for joining us on Story Planet. If you felt like you were right there in the peaceful village, walking through the lavender fields and breathing in the calming fragrance of lavender, consider giving a thumbs up. And if the story brought you peace and calm, feel free to share it with friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe for daily stories from Story Planet, offering serene escapes every day, wishing you a peaceful night and a relaxed sleep, sweet dreams.